Now we're live.
Doing something.
Okay. Hello. Welcome everybody and any spiders out there. So today, everyone, we're going to be talking about the webhead himself. Oh, we got there. You are. Hey, Bob.
Howdy. Hello.
Hey, do mute the YouTube in your background. There we go. So, everyone here are big fans of Spiderman, right? And Mando Mark has just demonstrated that he, is the most knowledgeable. So usually what I do is I bounce around to different people and we'll all talk about like Spider-Man's. We'll be here for about an hour, if that's okay with everyone.
That's how we normally do it.
Yeah, Mando, you want to go first since you're one of our main guests?
Okay, sure. What about, like, just spew anything random?
Yeah,
or,
just
like,
spew
anything. Is there a
anything.
topic and context here?
It's simply what we love about Spider-Man and
What we
any
love about
nitpicks or
Spider-Man.
anything.
Oh, I should probably be last then because that's going to be forever.
Condense it.
Condense it. All right, let me condense 30 years into
Condense it
one
too.
sentence.
Yes.
Oh, okay. For anyone who don't know, I'm an artist, and obviously this, like, you see my logo here. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan as well. I love the costume design of Spidey. Just, if we're just visuals first, right? I love this costume design of Spidey, like, especially for the time. And then you look at it even today. It's just something about the simplicity, yet the subtle complexity of that design that just stands out and makes it iconic. I mean, it's just it's simple. Red, blue with black lining of the webbing, white eyes stands out. And just the simple use of primary colors and the placement of those, right? This way, it's not like, oh, there's too much red on top and it's just all blue down below. Like, that's we were talking about the PS4 game before we went live. That's my problem with the PS4 suit, is that it's the color displacement is off. And the white, take it or leave it, but the white just introduces another factor that kind of messes with it. And the red is like an orangish red. Not a fan of that either. But because the legs down, it's all blue. There's no boots, there's no webbing anywhere. There's like some webbing on the thigh, but there's nothing else. And oddly enough, it did give me an idea for a Spider-Girl costume design because
Hey, Raquel.
Hello. Hello there.
Having just plain legs, the legs being completely blue, I thought would work better for a feminine costume.
It would,
but
I could.
The actual, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the white elements, and
I don't like that white webbing. It's very Tom
orange.
Holland's.
Well, it looks like he's wearing fucking racing gloves.
I don't know. Like, they did a pretty good job with the Watchman face, the classic suit in that game. So actually, let me hold on a sec. But I wasn't a huge fan, but a classic suit, and obviously the classic suit has had different iterations depending on the artists over the years. But this, the classic Spider-Man look, which was established by John Romita Sr., right? Because Ditko was before him, but Romita, because Ditko, it wasn't consistent. Ditko's strengths were drawing guys in suits and just drawing actual people. Romita is the guy who made Spider-Man visually iconic. Like, he streamlined the design. He's made the classic small eyes. That was him. The spider emblem. That he was the first one to do the spider emblem where the four legs are up, four legs are down. And it wasn't just one body. It was an actual spider where it has the head and the body.
Yeah.
That he's the guy who made Spider-Man visual identity what it is today. And that's and you look at it, that's classic. You look at Romita Spider-Man, you just think that's classic Spider-Man. And now you have the iterations over the years. Personally, I'm a huge fan of McFarlane, what he did with the eyes. I love Romita, but I just have a weird familiarity with the large eyes.
It's actually It's actually because of Spider-Man that Deadpool's eyes and a lot of the comic book eyes are like that.
Yeah, I mean, it started before Spider-Man, because there was Batman
Yeah.
and other heroes.
Mhm.
That
Well,
had
Batman. Yeah, but Batman's were just like genuinely frowning static, but Spider-Man's like moved and were.
Batman's were like actual eyes, but just no.
Yeah, they didn't have any
Yeah.
pupils.
Whereas Spider-Man had, lenses, stylized eyes that were just
Yeah.
lenses on the mask. And that's another thing too, is like back then he was the only superhero really that wore a full mask, which to me was like, why wouldn't you wear a full mask?
Did you hear Stan Lee talking about why he did that?
No.
It's been
Stanley-
too long for me to remember.
Stan Lee said, RP Stanley. Stanley said that the reason why he didn't intend this, but he loves this. Spider-Man. You don't know who's underneath the costume. It can be a brown guy, a white guy, yellow guy, a black guy. It can be absolutely anyone. Anybody can see themselves as Spider-Man.
Right.
So
that's-
when he
yeah.
take,
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Spider-Man as a character. If we're going to go into that part,
yeah,
Spider-Man is a relatable character. Like skin color or whatever, like that doesn't matter. What matters is human troubles, right? Human personal interpersonal relationships.
Well,
all
part
that
of what
stuff.
made Spider-Man, especially in like the 90s and onward, such an approachable character was you as the reader knew that was Peter Parker, and Peter was dealing with all kinds of just day-to-day
Right.
crap that everybody else is stuck with.
That's right. And another thing too is like Stan Lee, and this is what I love about Stan Lee's writing, especially way back when, is it wasn't why am I blanking on the term? Pardon me.
Right.
Spider-Man is the
Where you place yourself, like you're making a character that's you. Why am I blanking on the term? But it wasn't self-insert. It wasn't self-insertion.
Yeah.
No.
It was just basing it was making a new character.
It was making a
had
character that
similarities
anybody
or-
could identify with.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he used himself as essentially the baseline foundation for the character. Like money troubles. He had money troubles, so he's gonna write about.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Girl
Yeah.
troubles. He had that, so he's that sort of thing.
Like Spider-Man is basically, I forget there's a superhero, I forget his name, who's actually homeless, but Spider-Man is everyone else are like gods or billionaires or old and have money, but Spider-Man's the only guy who basically one time in the
There you go.
TV show.
Maxis nailed it and even put a quote in there from Peter.
Hold
Well,
on.
and that's the thing is, he wasn't, Batman. He has the money and all that. Superman, he's got godlike abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And also Spider-Man was the first teenage superhero. Usually, teenagers were the sidekicks.
True.
Now he's the superhero. And what was even better was you actually saw this guy grow up.
Yeah.
Because
Before they screwed with the storyline so hard, but yeah.
I think it was 1963 or 4. That's when he finally, he was in high school, now he's going to college.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was 16 when he gets his powers, and obviously the story starts.
Well, like before the timelines got all jacked up, you literally are watching this kid go from high school to college to working this day-to-day job while his girlfriend is trying to get into the movies.
Yeah, and don't forget also one time he became a billionaire with Parker Industries. As you do.
Yeah, it's just.
But
And I have no problem with him finally being able to solve his money issues, but it's okay, they're not as bad, they're not to that level of, oh, how is he going to pay rent this month? He's got something sustainable, but it's still not great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's evolution of the character,
right? Yeah,
and that's what I love about McFarlane. David Michelini and McFarlane did for Spider-Man is where you have Lee, Kirby, and Ditko and Romita, they created and defined the character. David Michelini and McFarlane evolved the character. Now he's married. Now he's got a new slew of troubles that he has to deal with, like marriage and what that entails. And
it's like Max
all sorts of other
said.
things.
Like Max has said, you saw him work his ass off. Parker had to work for everything he got in those stories.
yeah, I just have to apologize to the chat. There's something going on with StreamYards where I literally can barely get to the end of the comments to highlight them. So
geez,
I'm not.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not actually being rude. It's just I can barely see him.
It's like they're like the delay
Yeah.
that we have on the StreamYard side is really weird. Yeah, I've noticed
It's
that of recent of late. And
yeah.
but like with the whole Spider-Man character, like you saw him grow up, right? And that's another thing that I love how they actually mentioned in the original. I think it was the Spider-Man, the first annual with the Sinister Six. They had this whole thing at the end talking about the costume, the web shooters, the lenses on the mask, everything. And then at the end, they talked about how he's still a teenager and he's already strong enough to go to at least survive encounters with the Hulk or Thor. And
Yeah.
he's still growing, he's still developing. His
Remember
powers
when-
are going to be like get stronger as he gets older, and they even showed that throughout the comics in the 21st.
You
the
remember
20th
when
century.
Doc Ock took over Peter Parker's body
Oh, well,
and
now
he
you're
hit
getting
someone?
into 21st century bullshit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, talking about his strength, right? When he hit him, like I think he like knocked someone's head off, and he realized that all that time that
And he's holding
Spider-Man
back.
was pulling his punches.
He's holding back in almost any encounter he's in.
But I have to ask, what do you mean by the 21st century bullshit?
Well, because you know the Clone Saga in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Marvel was going bankrupt in the mid 90s. That's why they sold all the movie licensing rights.
Mhm.
Like Sony, Spider-Man got Sony, Fox got Fantastic Four and X-Men,
Yeah.
Universal got Punisher, Ghost Rider, and Hulk. So they were going obviously having money issues. So any ongoing stories, they decided to, because the original Clone Saga, which Tom DeFalco actually posted in 2006, I think it was 2006. It's a 6-issue series called the Real Clone Saga. It's pretty much how it was supposed to go before the bankruptcy and before they had to stretch it out so people would keep buying it to find out what happens. And it's actually really good. Because of the bankruptcy, they had to stretch out the storyline. And then before the whole Clone Saga thing even started, they had this really weird ass story where Peter Parker it was not Peter Parker anymore. Like the character was just a completely different character. He was angry all the time. The whole, becoming the spider, not getting rid of the Spider-Man. It was stupid, and they. Yeah.
They also did
It
this
was probably why they were
stupid.
losing money.
Yeah, they did this stupid thing where a few years ago they had Mary Jane died of cancer because of
The irradiation, yes.
Oh, okay, so Spider-Man
Yeah,
Reign.
and then-
You know what? Spider-Man Reign is actually a good story. I mean, ignoring everyone is hung up on that fact, just as everyone's hung up on the whole Superman's bullet-like semen, because everyone, as Agent K put it, right? A person smart, people are dumb. But the Spider-Man Reign story is pretty much like the Spider-Man version of The Dark Knight Returns. It's this alternate continuity where Mary Jane died, he stopped becoming Spider-Man, the world goes to hell because of it. Right, heroes or whatever, Venom is now, like he's gone full symbiote. He's no longer merging with other
I
people.
guess it's cool if
Eating
you
people
like
now.
those, but I gotta say, I'm really tired of those kind of storylines.
Look, this was
Yeah.
back in the 90s, or early 2000s.
Oh, dude,
They're
even by
actually
then, I
good.
was kind of tired of the storylines.
I know, but it was like this Spider-Man Reign was new for a Spider-Man thing at the time. And it was actually good. Like it was showing how even Spider-Man, even in his decrepit old age, would still be kicking ass.
Yeah, they
I guess
actually
my
had.
problem was it just felt like such a departure. Now, this is
And it
just
showed
my
that he was still
personal
a good
opinion.
character. It was a nice character piece.
I don't
But
know.
obviously people get hung up on,
Well, I didn't get hung up on that.
radioactive semen.
My whole issue was just, it was so uncharacteristic. I couldn't get into it even as a character piece.
I don't know. It's when he comes back, it's great, but it is a slow. Let me put it this way: The Dark Knight Returns is still much better. I'm not saying that it's like it's great. I'm just saying it was a good story. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't anything amazing. It was okay.
Hmm.
It was not as bad. I think that people make it out to be. That doesn't mean it's great. It just means it's not bad. It's just not everything has to be special, but at the same time,
Yeah.
It's also a one-off alternate thing. It was like a what if. So who gives a shit?
One of the weirder ones I did hear of and that really ticked off a lot of people was Old Man Spider-Man. Like,
I
did you?
didn't read
Yeah,
that.
It's basically the end of the one that he was talking about, like the alternate reality where Spider-Man was basically a dick. Where at the end of it,
What?
Spider-Man, yes, Old Man Spider-Man. I'm trying to.
I don't know the
name
name of the arc. I don't know the
Okay,
name
so
of
Last Stand
that's something
Spider-Man.
else. The whole
Last-
The Last Stand
Yes.
Spider-Man.
the Gotcha.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's
it.
again. You're talking that's post 20. That's 21st century, and I'm gonna keep saying like 21st versus 20th because there is a significant difference. You look at I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because
Okay.
you look
Yeah.
at something honestly pre bankruptcy, right? Pre 1995 Marvel. Great writing, good art. Then you look at during and post bankruptcy, art was wonky, like all over the place. Some titles had good art, others, yikes. And the writing, you're reading pretty much different characters at that point. They had the same names, but they were completely different characters. And that doesn't say that's not to mean that everything post bankruptcy was bad. There were some good things here and there. But the Marvel
That's
that we
my
all
wife,
knew
and I
and
can't
loved,
help you with that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind.
the Marvel that we all knew and loved pre-bankruptcy pretty much died during that bankruptcy, and then it was
Yeah, I
weakened down.
actually heard somebody talking today, and they turned around and they said that Marvel Comics, Marvel, the brand, right,
Okay.
the company, is focused on TV show, games, movies, toys, right?
Now,
The
yeah.
comics,
Now they are, yeah.
yeah. Oh, I'm talking now. And they said that Marvel only pumps out comics as a way to keep hold of said license. So
And that's also
Spider-Man-
because Marvel doesn't have any writers left, so they can't write comics.
Well, they're hiring based on your political whatever. And
Well,
all
it's not
that
just
bullshit.
political ideology. Let's be real. It's affordability.
it is.
They don't want to pay for good
Maxis is on
writers.
point here.
Yeah.
And and that's the thing. Like you had some good stories with 20. Oh, by the way, I'm going to refer to everything as Twinsen, and anyone who's read 2099, you'll know why. But
Okay.
all the all the 21st century stuff. Yeah, like post bankruptcy, there's some good things here and there. Like Iron Man Extremist storyline that was good. But the whole Moreland thing and Spider-Man, all of a sudden now his powers come from some totem bullshit. Like, no. Like, because that was another mold-breaking moment for the character of Spider-Man and Marvel Comics as a whole, was before Marvel Comics, heroes were not created by accidents. All the DC heroes, like, save for like guys like the Flash, and really that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But most of them, they're not created by accidents. They're created because good people decide to stand up, right?
Yes. I heard someone talking about DC versus Marvel, where DC is they said like DC is people trying to be gods, but Marvel is gods trying to be people.
Honestly, I would say that sort of,
Kind of.
because here's the thing to me with DC's heroes are godlike in abilities and powers.
They
and
are.
that. Marvel's are not. Like, you can kill Captain America with a gun.
Yeah.
You can kill Spider-Man with they're still mortal.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, the Punisher damn near killed Spider-Man the first time he appeared, so yeah.
Yeah.
And even Punisher was a character that they've done dirty over. Like, after,
Oh, fuck yeah.
especially
Don't
Darth
get me
Vance and
started
his,
on the
like,
Punisher and Nick Fury, because that's where I came in.
So,
So just
the
to switch
80s
over
and
to
90s,
DC.
right?
Sorry.
all right, who's talking?
Me.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Ray.
you go ahead. So I was talking for a second. One of the things that really annoyed me, so I'm a big Green Lantern fan,
Okay.
Oh boy.
right? And one of the things that, well, okay, let me put it, I used to be, right? One of the things that annoyed me was Dexter, right?
Oh, boy.
The talking cat.
Yeah.
And
Where
how
that
he got
is-
instant popularity. That's how I feel with all the Spider-Gwen bullshit.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
but-
Don't even get me started on Spider-Gwen.
It's like,
my
oh,
Okay.
great,
God.
it's one movie, and now all of a sudden, it's like, fuck that shit.
Spider-Gwen is basically only popular because
And that's not,
I
right?
think,
that was the actress.
no, cosplay.
Oh,
Well, that does probably have a big
well, no, it
fan.
originated from the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Yes. I
So,
do know that, but
and the actress in that was, I think it was Emma Stone, right? I'm not like just
it was
blanking.
Emma Stone who was actually Andrew Garfield's girlfriend.
Didn't even watch it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember being. Here's the thing. I remember when the Amazing Spider-Man movie came out. It was
My
2000
brother put it this way: I can't read anything past 98, and I'm still iffy on that.
Yeah, no, I can't read anything past 94. Oh, it depending.
Max
Spider-Man,
says that's
90
pretty spot on. Max
If it's
says on the
Spider-Man,
Spider-Gwen
94.
thing,
If it's Iron Man, 95. If it's Cap, yeah, and pretty much every other character, it's 95.
on the Spider-Man thing, Max said because people are thirsty, and that's pretty accurate too.
and that's again, that's what I mean by bankruptcy, because the bankruptcy was started in the mid 90s.
Okay, I'm going to show you this.
Quality dived, Marvel died,
Yeah,
and because they did file for Chapter 11, and
Yeah.
they've been essentially, I like to refer to it as, ever since the bankruptcy, it's been Weekend at Bernie's with Marvel. Yeah,
Oh, it has.
2000s.
well, kind of, yeah.
Early 2000s, it was fun and entertaining, right? Just like Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah, it's a corpse. Let's have fun. But then the joke got old after a while, and now it's just a rotting. Like now the corpse is really starting to rot and smell and stink up the room, and you're just like, get rid of it. So
I just
morbid,
looked up
but that's what I.
Spider-Gwen. Okay, now when I typed in Spider-Man, all that came up was Spider-Man images of comics, movies, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Of like the comics. Spider-Gwen.
Yeah,
Fan
you
art?
get a billion fan arts and cosplayers.
Of course.
It's decent.
Okay. I'm not saying like I'm not going to defend any of this because I hate the existence of Spider-Gwen and Gwen and all the.
I'll put
Gwen
it this
shit.
way.
Let me put it this way though. It doesn't matter what character, as long as it's female, you're going to have this shit.
Despite all the bad writing, I'm just going to say, like, Silk is a better character than Spider-Gwen.
It is, but what I'm saying is the top images, none of like I think this is the only actual image of Spider-Gwen. Like
that's from the the Spider-Verse movie, and then that's comic book covers. So at least that's not horrible, you know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like
I think that's a toy in one of the other images, isn't it?
Probably, I couldn't. Tell
I think the one next, that's obviously a comic book cover.
Yeah, there's comic covers like,
some of them
but
are
there's
still from the film, and then some of them are either toys or just still like bitmapped, cropped stills from the film.
But like, it seems all the cosplayers and everything like that have all gone like nuts for Spider-Gwen. But whenever they're doing Spider-Gwen, when they do Spider-Man, they're always doing the usual heroic-y kind of stuff, right? But when they're doing Spider-Gwen, they're all like doing, oh my god,
oh god.
They'd never do that again in my presence.
I can also hear Max's laughing her ass off at the fact that I just
probably
never do that again in my presence.
I am so sorry for people who had to listen to that and the fact that came out of my mouth. But you know what I mean, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like all that they're doing, and they're literally using that sound as part of it. And I'm like,
it's always some dumb shit like popping gum or fucking with their smartphone and posing and all this goofy shit.
Yes, but we're going. I think let's just bounce around to other people, okay? Because
I'm just gonna hoard in anyways.
Well, we'll get back to you. You're a fountain of knowledge when it comes to Spider-Man. Raquel, girlie, tell us about your Spider-Man.
My Spider-Man that I grew up with was Tobey Maguire.
Oh yeah,
yep.
So definitely the best. Just I know. I'll wait my turn, but I just want to say, out of all the live-action adaptations, most comic book accurate.
No, I agree.
I'm just going to put this down now. If anyone's seen it and things like that, we're not going to talk about the new movie. Okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because there's someone else. I promised I watched the movie, and there's still people who haven't seen it. So just no spoilers.
I'm fine with leaving the
no spoilers. Anyone in the chat. And
I don't do spoilers. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
You were talking, Raquel?
Yeah, I like the one that I grew up with was Tobey Maguire, and I like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I'm not really a fan of the Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Nor am I.
I don't know. Like Tom Holland was okay in Civil War. Like I wasn't a fan of the whole Mr. Stark BS, but I mean, aside from that, and aside from him essentially being like this very naive kid, because Spider-Man, even in this, because again, my first Spider-Man was the comics. I grew up reading Stanley and Ditko and Lee and
I have an easy way to explain this. He felt like a step backwards.
It's just that's exactly it. And I was saying that before they introduced, because before Civil War came out and the whole rumor of Spider-Man coming back and it's going to be a kid Spider-Man, and I think Kevin Feige did an interview in regards to the Homecoming movie that was announced before or after Civil War. I don't remember. My brother
referred to the Tom Holland Spider-Man as Iron Lad.
Oh no! We are not insulting Iron Lad. Iron Lad is an actual
but actually,
respect. Because if you don't respect Iron Lad, he will come back as King the Conqueror.
No, actually, Favre.
I'm not kidding.
I know.
No, wait. We're just going to hear Favre groan. Favre?
What?
Spider-Man in the Iron Man armor is officially called the Iron Spider.
That doesn't surprise me. There's no creativity left at Marvel.
Well, here's the thing. That was made during Civil War. They had the Iron Spider costume, which actually was a good design.
It was
a neat design. I liked it. But it's essentially just like Iron Man. It's like a old school. It was kind of like that old school Iron Man where it's like, metallic but muscular looking. But it was essentially like a Stark Tech's, Spidey suit for him to wear.
I'm just going to say this.
But even then, it did not have all of these plethora of fucking gadgets that the new ones
No. But look, I was a big fan of the Marvel movies. Now, for me, they're just popcorn movies. But the tech, let's be honest, in the Marvel movies is magic.
Yeah.
And there are exceptions to this, but they're usually the non-Avengers movies.
Yes.
Let me put it this way. At least I can only speak for myself here. Well, I can only speak for myself and for the rest of the Cast in the Shadows gang. But the best MCU films, and by best I mean the only good ones. Oh, I hate that costume design.
Yeah.
No, it's true. The best MCU films in order are, and you can interchange the first two: Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Iron Man, or you can swap them.
Mine are Iron Man, Captain America, and Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
I may not even include the first Captain America because I'm a huge World War II buff as well. And it's not that I had a problem with the the laser stuff, like they're shooting laser guns.
Well, considering what they were basing their technology on,
but I wanted to see what I imagined when I read when I was seeing the Kirby art, where it's like Captain America, but like in actual World War II, or at least the next best thing, where it's like they're actually using MP40s and Kar 98s, like actual World War II weaponry.
I don't think you were ever going to get
that. No, obviously not, because they wouldn't show it for children otherwise. But like that's what I wanted.
This is going to sound strange. I would love to see.
Like
I would love to see
Captain America used a 45. They weren't going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, at least using a Colt 1911. So props there. Awesome, but
I would love to see a Wolverine movie take place literally throughout time.
I don't know. That'd get a little weird.
Did anyone know that? Because I'm not sure. Well, I can only go by my own standing here, but I read Sergeant Fury and Howling Commandos as a kid.
Yep.
And that was created on a bet. Essentially, it was 1960, 1964 or 3, maybe actually later, but it was in the 60s. And Kirby and Lee were bet you can't do a World War II comic today because World War II just ended. It's still pretty raw in everyone's mind. You can't do it. They did it. They did it well.
Yeah. I mean, to the fact they actually had some of the characters appear in the Captain America movie. The problem wasn't barely anybody knew who they were.
And and the fact that Dum Dum Dugan will never get the respect that he deserves for Dum Dum.
He was half decent in the movie.
He was. I have respect for the actor that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But one of the things that kind of got me about the MCU a little bit of annoying, everyone's always connected. Everyone is connected.
I have no problem with that, but it's depending on how there's connection, right? Like, okay, it's a established universe that they all inhabit, and then there's over reliance. Where
Yeah.
this is my problem with the Homecoming as a film, not as a Spider-Man movie, because Spider-Man movie is shit. But as a movie, like as a film, Spider-Man Homecoming relies too much on the MCU, because if they're like, whereas Captain America: The Winter Soldier, yeah, they reference some events here and there, right? Like,
but it was mostly,
but it's a standalone film.
Hydra and Shield and all that infiltration.
Exactly, it was essentially, it works as a standalone film.
Yeah.
The first Iron Man movie was made as a standalone film. And
you know that Spider-Man, Peter Parker's first MCU canonical appearance was they changed how his parents died.
They had it where he's the kid in Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2, yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh, I built up to Peter Parker for years."
Call him anything. I coined this term when during Homecoming, like when I was watching it, but it's Iron Boy Jr. because again, Iron Lad is an actual character, and that's an insult to him. This is Iron Boy Jr.
My Dutch friend,
wannabe, right?
My Dutch friend in English refuses to call him anything except Spider Monkey.
No, because I'm pretty sure Spider Monkey is something that exists too.
No. It's like, yes, she has the comics.
It's not a superhero thing, but there is a Spider Monkey thing.
Oh yeah, there is an actual Spider Monkey.
But it was a cartoon where some kid was able to transform into different aliens, and one of them is called Spider Monkey.
That's ridiculous, and I don't care.
But my point is that it's something that exists, and it's probably better than that. Yeah, the whole Tom Holland. Like, here's the thing: I have nothing against Tom Holland. I'm sure he's a great actor. Probably, I haven't really seen him in anything other than the Spider-Man movies. But like, and here's the thing: he could be a really good Spider-Man. But that's not what they want. They want.
Well, they keep resetting the fucking storyline.
No, and here's back to what I was saying with the interview with Kevin Feige or whatever it was, the announcement. I don't even remember. I think it's under the IMDb trivia page for Homecoming. If anyone ever wants to look this up. But I'm just saying, so sources, people, information. That's how it works. But he was saying how they wanted to go for a younger Spider-Man for the kids and all that shit. And ever since the MCU existed, I wanted Spider-Man to be in it. Because I'm like, okay, you got the Iron Man, Spider-Man, and I wanted Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in it, or just a adult Spider-Man, right? Like, okay, he was there during the Battle of New York, right, helping people out somewhere else, like downtown or something, or uptown rather, or he was, just have an already established Spider-Man enter the scene.
Well, so when they announced that they were doing Tom Holland's Spider-Man the first time when they were doing him, they said, "Hey, we've seen Spider-Man's origins in multiple cartoons, in the TV shows, and every new comic. We don't need to do this." Then we saw him being seen in the MCU, right, for the first time in Civil War, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's an older Spider-Man," because Tom Holland was at the time, I believe, 21, maybe 19.
No, I think he was 19.
Yeah, that age range.
He was still young, which even then, that's not older Spider-Man. Older Spider-Man's like in his 20s.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm talking because usually he's
fast forward into college in the first movie because they didn't want to do with all the high school drama stuff. They wanted to get into the nitty-gritty, and good on them.
But but now they're like, Spider-Man was like, boom, right back into the college. Sorry, into high school and everything like that.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have an Uncle Ben, which that really annoyed me. And
no,
also,
Uncle Ben is a necessity in a Spider-Man.
Yes.
To Spider-Man. And here's the thing. Everyone's always complaining, oh, we saw the origin.
Hey,
the origin twice. Shut up. Stop complaining, because Batman's done it more.
Oh, jeez. Or Superman.
How many times do we have to see the poor Waynes get murdered? Well, they're not poor, but how many times do we have to see the Waynes
How many
get
times we
murdered?
got to see Superman land on Earth? I mean, for fuck's sake.
Well,
at least with visuals, that gets better. But I mean, like with Batman, we're just seeing two people get killed with a gun every time. It's sad. It's annoying.
It is.
Since Batman's been long enough that everyone knows the origin of Batman, no matter where you're from, who you are. Batman's existed for almost 100 years now. There's no way you don't know.
I saw a hilarious cutting. Someone put all the deaths from like throughout history of Batman's parents, and then when they announced the new Batman movie, you just see the kid crying from The Simpsons saying, "Please God, they're already dead. Just stop."
Hey guys, I'm gonna stay on. But I got to take a couple pictures with my mother. We've got our St. Patrick's Day garb on, so I'll stay listening. Oh yeah.
All good.
Hey,
also, for anyone who didn't know, today was Purim, so Chag Sameach.
I've
So-
been
It was a
too busy to
trifecta
do much
holiday.
other than drink.
Hold on. Son-in-law Aaron Saint Father. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
And Chag Sameach, Chag Purim Smechim Kulam. Yeah, so some Bible
But
movies.
yeah,
Okay,
and
so-
then well, really, now I'm not. There's no spoilers, but the actress who Melissa Tremaine, I believe,
Marissa
who played-
Tomei
yeah,
from My
she-
Cousin Vinny.
she came out and she said that she wanted Aunt May to be a lesbian.
Christ Almighty! Of course she
Well,
fucking
good.
did. I heard about that
bullet
bullshit.
for her.
I heard
Yeah,
about
I
Yeah.
heard about
Here's
that
the problem. This is not spoiler. Again, I haven't even seen the new movie. Hell, I haven't even seen Far
Yeah.
From Home. Fun facts for anyone listening: when I walked out of the theater of Homecoming, I swore to I watched it with my father and brother because we're all three Spider-Man fans. Though my brother's a bigger Hulk fan. He's like the authority of the Hulk. It's crazy, but I swore if the sequels are made by the same writers and the same director, I'm not watching them.
I didn't watch
And
any
if
of
they
those.
were, I have not watched them. I'm a man of my word. Now, the whole thing with Marissa Tomei, I read an article about this film, how because they kind of explain, or the writers outside of the film, like in an interview, explain how there was no Uncle Ben in this universe or something, like almost implying like, Aunt May just adopted Peter after his parents died or something like that. Now, here's the problem. Aunt May is not in Peter's gene pool. Her maiden name's Riley, which is why Riley is the name that Peter's clone took, because it's Aunt May's maiden name and his middle name, or Uncle Ben's name, depending on how you look at it. Same thing. But her name is Riley. It was Ben Parker. Uncle Ben is Peter's, uncle, obviously, but he's Richard Parker's older brother. Peter's dad.
Yeah, but you're also forgetting something. In
some continuities, I think he's his younger brother. But my point is that's how
you didn't watch Far From Home, right?
I haven't watched Far From Home.
This is in Far From Home. This is the suitcase that she gives Peter. Look at the initials.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin Parker.
Yeah, no mention who the heck he is.
It's either that or it's a brand of the bag.
And that whole, by the way, that whole stupid Aunt May lesbian bullshit, they fucked around with that. If you're paying attention in Into the Spider-Verse, because there's a whole stupid insinuation that the female Doc Ock and her were a thing.
Yeah, I heard.
That one was weird, but I enjoyed that.
I'm not a fan of female Doc Ock either, but that's a different thing.
I don't know. I thought she was all right, but the storyline kind of.
The only time female Doc Ock works, in my opinion,
Irish,
is the Spider-Man 2099. I don't know if anyone's ever played Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. My opinion,
I have.
Best
played
Spider-Man game in terms of combat, like better than even the modern stuff.
Yeah, it's
makes
really
you feel
good.
like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it does.
In that game,
like the
one of the
takedowns, those are freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I love the takedowns.
Oh yeah,
I haven't played it.
It's good. It's
I would
fun.
like to.
Like
very, very good. Like, let me put it this way: it's not an open world game. This web swinging is an afterthought because it's a linear game. But the mechanics for the combat, like the spider sense mechanics alone, deserve praise because the way it works is you hold down, if you're playing on controller, hold down the left trigger, and that puts you into like spider sense mode where any light attack coming at you, bullets included, you dodge it automatically, Matrix style.
Yeah. It's
However,
really cool.
heavy attacks come at you, you still have to manually dodge them. But when you're in this mode, you can move insanely fast. I'm talking like real Spider-Man fast.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I need to get these games.
If I had, let me put it this way: if my controller was working right now, I would play it and share it on the screen if I could.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like in the Spider-Man, what was it? The black suited one. I can't remember it.
Amazing
Into the
Spider-Man Noir,
Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 3.
Noir. Spider-Man
Oh, Noir.
Yeah, because
you
in
can
the game
hang
you play as
upside
4
down on
different Spider-Man.
ceilings or whatever, or you can hang upside down on like lamps and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you wait very patiently and
hold
very,
on, I have. Let me get the footage because I actually have.
If
I
you
used
wait-
gameplay footage I recorded of it, so
sweet.
this might take me a bit. So
Okay, but if you wait right, and then you do it the right time, you can take people down from the light pole.
you
It's
can
pretty
take people
fucking
down
awesome.
from anywhere.
Yeah,
it's anywhere.
the
It's
wall,
great.
the ceiling, from buildings, anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. You can take.
I'm gonna have to
people down.
mute this
I
video.
love
Though,
it.
it's part of an
It's
outro.
so cool.
Okay.
Well, I have to find it first. So that's that.
But guys, let's go to Farv because Farv actually sent me pictures, right?
Yes, I did.
Because I forgot to mention it to absolutely everyone else.
What?
Oh, Farv sent me pictures.
I sent him some stuff regarding
No,
this.
Maxis, the best version of Spider-Man 2 was on the PS2, but it was still a good game.
Maxis can't remember
I
anything.
can
I
hear
spoke.
you in the background singing.
Spider-Man.
Also, the best
Please
rendition,
don't sing on my stream.
the best rendition.
Oh, that
of
will
the
not
main
get
theme-
any. That
Okay,
song's
does
been
anyone-
around forever.
Does anyone know?
Yeah, that's been around since like the 1960s.
Okay, the Ramones did a version of the Spider-Man song, like the 1967 theme song. They did a cover of it
Really?
in the 90s, I think.
Wow.
And the MCU movies, I've only seen Homecoming, Civil War, and the trailer for Far From Home.
I
all
haven't
of
seen
which
any of
use
them.
all of which use a Ramones song in them for Spider-Man. Yet
Spider-Man-
they didn't use the Spider-Man Ramones song.
Oh, hold on. This
I
is
didn't
going to
get the
annoy you.
license or didn't want to pay for it.
In
But they have
the
the
Amazing
license for the other
Spider-Man,
Ramones songs.
but in the Amazing Spider-Man and in like Far From Home and the new movie, Spider-Man's ringtone is the theme tune.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
in
wow.
Amazing Spider-Man
Huh.
2, it was a nice reference, but in the newer movies where they have it as like this epic theme, I hate it. Granted, I'm not a fan of epic themes, but I'm more rock. But like that's the thing is, Spider-Man to me is always like the music for Spider-Man is either Danny Elfman or 90s punk rock.
Rock don't work in everything,
did a good
dude.
job on the three star.
Anyone that's played
Spider-Man.
the original Spider-Man movie game, Spider-Man.
I have.
movie
I played.
video
I
game.
played the first, second, and third one. Yeah, I played all. of them.
Hold on. One sec. Maxis, she's going to kick me for this, but I just have to. Maxis, the PS2, that was a console from like ages ago when people used to use these things called a disc.
Jesus Christ.
Don't
She
know if you
knows
know what
what
they
that
are.
is.
I
Come
think they
on.
know. They're just saying that they didn't have it and use it.
He knows.
I was making a
He's just
crack that the
fucking
best
trolling
version
her on
of the
purpose
Spider-Man
now.
games was for the PlayStation.
I believe we used to. My mom bought a PS2 years ago. Fortunately, it was stolen. But that's when we were living in Florida.
Max is
Yeah,
still going
Max,
We
to
used
fight
to
over
have
you.
the
Potato Raven, she's
original
going to fight you, or
Spider-Man
he,
game.
or
We used to
whoever.
have it.
Yeah,
used to
I
have that
still
game.
have the original Spider-Man game, and I
Nice.
also have Spider-Man Enter Electro game as well.
Yes, okay.
Oh, I
The
played
best
that as
Spider-Man
well. I
game
played that
ever.
Oh,
game
good
too.
games, good games.
The best Spider-Man game ever is Spider-Man 2000, which was obviously in 2000. It was released on Mac, PC, and PlayStation 1.
Oh, wait,
And
PlayStation?
it is such. Here's the thing: it's pretty much the same exact game as Spider-Man the movie, except
Oh, wow.
instead of the web cartridges, your webbing goes over time, and your
Can
Yeah,
I
it's
just ask
obviously
you
better
guys?
graphics, but the
What's
gameplay
up?
mechanics are identical.
Hold
It's
on,
a
hold on,
different
hold on,
settings,
hold on,
different-
hold on.
Right.
Okay,
What were
so
you trying to
a question for the panel and the audience,
Okay,
right? Opinion: web cartridges versus
web cartridges.
I
natural.
prefer the cartridges because they were a reflection of Peter being very, very intelligent.
Ding ding ding.
Yeah, I
ding.
prefer.
Give
I
us
prefer
another
them
cookie.
as well.
What's
Although
the
I,
matter?
the question is, do you prefer natural, like on a Spider-Man? Don't matter. Just don't think of the actor. Just talking about the Spider-Man, right? Natural web or the cartridges?
Cartridges.
Nah,
Webbing
I like the
cartridges.
natural.
Web
I
fluid.
have
Natural
to
for
go
me.
for the natural one.
Well, for me, I prefer
the comics, but yeah, I mean, you know, what
yeah,
I mean?
I prefer the cartridges
because it was the
because
first Spider-Man you watched, right, or read.
Yeah.
But I think
I prefer.
here's the thing: both are good.
You guys are talking over each other left and right here.
And the origin of the organic webbing comes actually from Spider-Man 2099.
Really?
But
they did introduce mainline post bankruptcy Spider-Man, like classic, quote unquote classic Spider-Man post bankruptcy did get organic webbing later on, but originally it was 2099 Spider-Man who had the organic webbing.
Oh wow!
Because he was genetically he was a geneticist. He through an accident he had his DNA bonded with that of a spider, and now he has organic spinnerets inside his forearms. And they make a good joke about it in the comics, how like he finds out about it completely through, like it starts itching, right? Because his DNA is mutating and changing him. So
yeah,
but
it's going to spider puberty.
And what's great is how it's not like comic book magic. Like someone squeezed his arm at one point and it just shot webbing because it's all muscle reflex, right?
Oh, I saw that. They actually sell that at Comic-Con. Some dude like holding his webs and just his arm and web going everywhere. But for me, I prefer the cartridges because that gives Spider-Man an extra weakness.
Yeah, no, I personally prefer the cartridges, but it depends.
I agree on, but I also loved it because it reflected on how intelligent Parker's supposed to be, and so many of the movies just ignore that.
Yeah. Well, no, the Raimi films didn't, and that's why they're good.
Yeah, I mean, he had the natural web, but he was also still really
well. The reason they did the natural webbing in the Raimi films was because you're adapting it for a live action movie, and you're not just making this for
my issue though is like the modern ones
for everyone.
Yeah, my issue is
and
like the modern ones they don't use the cartridges, but they also
they don't use it smartly. It's not like crap, I ran out of fluid, now he's falling.
Yeah.
Hell,
actually,
did that better. And he didn't even have web cartridges.
Yeah.
Like but actually, he's not able to shoot the webs. Like that's reminiscent of when he's running out of cartridges.
In the Amazing Spider-Man, he actually got blocks where he couldn't use the web cartridges. But in the MCU movies, he wears this round black thing on his wrist when he first shows up as Spider-Man, where he keeps his web cartridge. It's a little black round thing. You see him in the first one where he like tiny little cartridge slides it into his wrist. Right?
One of my biggest issues with the more recent movies, how much they've dumbed down Peter Parker.
They dumbed down everything. It's not just Peter.
It's not just they
been dumbed down, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but it's not that they just dumbed him down.
In a nutshell, these days.
Yeah, but it's not just that they dumbed him down. In the MCU, Spider-Man, who's a genius, Peter Parker, the genius, is in a school where he's surrounded by geniuses, which means you've taken Peter Parker from being a genius to average.
Well, that's the thing is they put him in. I think it was supposed to be like a fictional version of Bronx Science.
It's some school for the gifted.
But it's supposed to be Bronx Science, which is hard to get into school and everything like that. And obviously in the comics, it was still fictional, but it was just a regular public school.
Yeah, he just went to a normal.
And that's what got me about the MCU. It wasn't just that they surrounded him by geniuses. It's that what they did to Flash Thompson. I'm not talking about the race swapping. I'm talking about the fact that they made him just a kid that wasn't quite as smart, but was jealous of Peter. Like that is absolutely ridiculous.
He's bigger than Peter. How is he supposed
to? Yeah, no, he's literally.
This could be me showing my age, but. How is he supposed to be a bully when he's smaller than him?
Well, he's supposed to be an intellectual bully. He's supposed to be the type of bullies that we see in school now. It's kind of like what they did.
Par with him.
Well, and it's like what they did with Andrew Garfield
that's not what Flash Thompson is.
But doesn't Flash Thompson become Agent Venom?
That's post.
That's like 2010.
So, here's the thing about Flash Thompson in the comics and what makes him a great character is, yes, originally he's the big jock, right? He's the head of the football team. He hates Peter Parker, but loves Spider-Man, and he's the head of the president of the Spider-Man fan club. But as time went on, right, because they go to college together afterwards, and by the way, college is when Peter meets Harry, MJ, and Gwen.
Yeah.
He didn't know that in high school.
Yeah.
Yep.
But even after Harry's betrayal and everything else, when Flash becomes his friend, we see real, true character growth, and that's something that none of these shows now are allowing their characters to do. You know, look at the Flash on CW. We literally see him. He's no better off than he was in season 1. This is absolutely ridiculous. They don't want their characters to advance. They don't want their characters to become better. They want them to constantly be the underdog. Your hero doesn't always have to be the underdog. Sometimes your hero gets to be larger than life.
Well, that's what Batman work is that he's not the underdog, and he's always
and without spoiling. Without spoiling it, Farv, what's your reaction to what I just told you?
I don't have one. I don't have one. About what? Stupid. I don't have
one. I just told him something incredibly stupid from the new some that was actually
line thing.
Are we talking about what the actress wanted Aunt May to be? Or
no, we already covered that.
No. I'm talking like an actual plot detail from the movie, but I'm not spoiling it for anyone. Farv don't really care, so I told him.
Yeah,
Hey, hold on. If the panel don't care, I'll tell you backstage. Do you want to see it backstage?
I don't care.
Yeah, well, I
don't watch any of those movies, but it make no difference to me.
Okay, nobody read this out. Okay, but you can react to this. So. Okay, so just go behind.
Oh my God, don't kick. He didn't even say anything yet.
Oh my God, I'm naked.
Lazy writing for the win again.
Yeah,
that's all I will say.
I've seen Far From Home. Yeah, so yeah.
Right,
yeah. Without spoiling them.
Or I mean, No Way Home, whatever. See, that's another thing. That was just as bad as the Wii and the Wii U, or the 3DS, the 3DS XL, the 3DS Lite. Like, I mean, they're naming these Spider-Man movies like Nintendo on their lazy day.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, it seems like some.
Have you guys seen Spider-Man work from home?
Spider-Man, independent. Spider-Man work from home.
Yeah.
No.
Technically, Far From Home was filmed closer to his actual home, so that kind of was Spider-Man work.
Also, another thing that the MCU kind of did wrong was he's like only in Queens. What the hell? Spider-Man in the comics was getting everywhere in New York City. Remember, New York City's 5 fucking boroughs. Pardon my French, but you got Bronx, Manhattan.
Queens, you can curse on my channel. I don't give 2 fucks.
Yeah, nobody cares.
I've got this stream listed as not for kids, so fuck off, kids. Santa's not real.
I'm gonna say pardon my French anyways. That's just what I do. But
yeah, Santa's not real, and I hate the Easter Bunny.
Did you look at the ticker?
What? Yeah, hit the like button.
Yes. Whip that like button.
No, the timer.
Yeah, I know that.
Holy shit, it's almost already.
But yeah, we usually keep this in there, but we'll just go for another little bit, like, because like we're having a good chat about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so just real quick to circle back to the Spider-Gwen thing. In the Spider-Geddon Edge of Spider-Verse comic books. Now we're talking, but we're talking about 2014, right before the 2015 woke, horse shit, like right before they went into full swing. No pun intended. Anyway, the point is that in the Spider-Verse they actually did not do a bad job with her when she was only supposed to be an alternate reality character.
Well, that's the problem with all the characters, that they were just supposed to be like these one-off things.
Yeah, see, and they decided, the old saying, you can have too much of a good thing, and that was the thing. What made her so perfect was that in her world, Peter Parker wanted to become special like her. She was the one bit by the spider. He wanted to become something special. Yeah, and she, unlike him, who failed to save her, she killed Peter Parker. She literally, they're in combat, and she knocks him off the ledge, and he ends up dead. So she has the guilt of killing the person that she loves. I mean, it was great. It was a nice, nail in the heart, to anybody that knows her character. And again, if they had left it at that, let her sink into the multiverse and, show up occasionally. But they went on to reboot their the Marvel universe 4 times after that.
Have you heard about
within a 5-year span, by the way?
Yeah.
4 reboots in 5 years.
They made their continuity worse, actually, when they decided to go, hey, let's do the all new, like, let's get rid of all the alternate continuities and merge them together, because they're like, well, that works with Infinite Crisis in DC, right? Except Infinite before Crisis, pre-Crisis DC was a mess, and it cleaned up their continuity when they did this. Marvel's was not a mess. I mean, it was a mess because when they undid the marriage in 2006, worst thing done Spider-Man probably.
Well, see, and I love Joe Quesada, but that was a terrible decision.
Everything, but even then, you have that screwed up the continuity. But now you're just further fucking it.
But so, one second now.
Sorry.
So yeah, but like in Marvel Comics now, right? Spider-Man is a Nexus being, where he gets it, where the spider. Oh yeah, this is it now. Spider-Man is a form of right, where the spider was the whole scientist experimenting on the spider was created by the spider god,
right?
Who's in charge of? Yeah, no, it's not a totem. This isn't a totem. This don't have anything to do with a totem. Where the entire multiverse is now connected through a spider's web.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Farf, we're going to go to you. We're going to go to you because you sent me the pictures and I never got to them. Okay.
I'm screen sharing the clip that I said I looked for earlier.
There you go. I'm going to mute it for you.
There we go. Sorry, it was something I was working on, but
cool.
Yeah, I was using clips that I captured when playing it on my PC for the 100th
Okay,
time.
so Farv.
Yo.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
If we're gonna full thoughts on this, this design would actually be really like near perfect if they actually gave him the just this costume. Just add maybe a purple atypical shading. Right, like a purple shading to the end of the helmet, so this way it looks like purple hood, but
maybe
and made the torso purple. Essentially, again, do that RoboCop style shader on it, where like some of the armor in reflection.
I'm gonna say flat out. I mean, everybody gets their opinion, but I kind of liked that it looked just different enough that I didn't feel like it needed the purple.
Well, yeah. Well, I was just saying the purple would be a nice touch this way, but again, it's a good design. I'm just saying purple would have made it better.
And honestly, the actor kind of did it for me.
That actor was born for that role.
I'll tell you, I want Willem Dafoe. Anybody that knows anything about Highlander, when they do this new Highlander reboot, he needs to be a Highlander villain. Highlander villains are fucking nuts. They are crazy. He needs to be a crazy ass immortal.
He was in Clear and Present Danger. He was great in that.
Look, I saw that fucker in Boondock Saints, and that guy was out of his mind in that movie.
That's what he does.
So far, what do you want to say about him?
Well, Willem Dafoe kind of nailed the Osborn role in general, and it was really interesting seeing him kind of bouncing back and forth between Norman and the Goblin. Like they wrote him almost as two different people.
They did,
and it's not completely canonical, but it was entertaining as hell to fucking watch.
Well, no, where they got that, it wasn't in the comic books. I mean, kind of, but where they got that, it was in the old. Yeah, it was the cartoons, the old cartoons, and you could see him go back and forth.
No, the original, the where Norman Osborn being like plagued and pained that way does stem from the comic books, but not because the Green Goblin is coming, like any reflection he looks at, he's seeing the Goblin and the Goblin's talking to him as a separate entity. The Goblin is, even in the comics, is a separate entity to Norman Osborn.
But I'm going to switch to
they're never able to converse. It's kind of like they're more like the Hulk, where they're unaware of each other. I hate that Black Cat design, by the way.
Why?
Because I'm not.
I don't.
All black. Well, yeah, because sexualization.
That's got nothing to do with it, actually.
But here's just coming from an artist's perspective. it's too much black, and the color, the white displacement of the colors isn't enough. Like where the original design, you had the white boots and the white gloves with the fur, and that worked. This is kind of like a light version of that, like LT.
Yeah, but far.
I give two rat fucks about the costume. It's more the fact that my problem is that like Felicia Hardy. Excuse me.
The character is
Mark Mando. He was talking first. Let him talk.
Sorry.
Okay. I was going to say, I liked Felicia Hardy as a character. The costume changed again and again and again. I found it amusing that you had this character who's literally a fucking cat burglar, but she's willing to go out of her way to help Parker out. She's in this kind of not so subtle competition with Mary Jane, which doesn't really get her anyway, but she keeps trying anyway.
She's doing it just out of spite.
Yeah, somewhat, yeah. And I just found her to be an entertaining character in general because she was kind of interesting fodder for Parker to be continuously dealing with.
No, you're absolutely right. It was a good character. I'm an artist. Visual design matters to me, so I'm gonna pick these things.
Well, she's a shameless temptress. That's
like that. What the fuck is that?
What the fuck's wrong with that? That's a later version of the Scorpion.
Yeah.
Gargan.
Okay.
Matt Gargan, I will fucking love Matt.
Dude, I loved it when he had the Venom symbiote. When he had that Venom symbiote for a short time.
I didn't like him as much as Venom as I did as the Scorpion.
Well, because he was a temporary holder. He was never meant to be the long-term holder. Yeah. It was just, I loved it when Wolverine had the Venom symbiote for a short time. Like, it was right after Eddie Brock died. He went through several hosts, and both Scorpion and Wolverine were great.
So which one would you like me to go to next, Farwell? We'll go to this.
Yeah, that's Alistair Smythe.
Wow.
That is the man.
That's when he's the ultimate Spider Slayer.
Yep. This is the man who's been responsible for a great deal of pains in Peter Parker's asses, actually.
Indeed.
This is
he's actually the catalyst that makes MJ say yes when Peter asks her to marry him.
Mm-hmm. The creator of the Spider Slayers
that makes her say yes.
It's funny because in the '90s cartoon, this guy was one of the major villains.
Yes,
a big storyline.
Constantly. Yeah.
The 90s cartoon, it doesn't hold up as an adult. Like if you're to watch it, because it's just because of the way it was written, because of all the censorship to fuck kids and how make sure he doesn't land on any pigeons bullshit. He doesn't throw a punch, but they still managed to write good stories and characters.
And that's the thing. Even though he does not,
let's take the scripts, but add in more combat and action. That would be perfect. It would essentially be like Batman TAS level.
Whoa! What is all that background noise?
That is not me.
Sounds like a gorilla humping a zebra.
Is somebody chewing on the mic?
No. I don't know what I thought that was from your end, Farm.
No. I'm getting it too. I don't know what now. I don't hear it anymore.
Also, I like how Rabbit is saying, "Hey, 1992." Hi, Rabbit.
So, The Punisher and Spider-Man.
Yeah. That's the book that Ramita, that iconic.
I wish I had this book still. I used to have this original book, and
I have this
jacked ready to move.
I have 3 copies of this issue. One still in plastic. One is
Adela.
And then there's another one that I don't know where it is.
Adela.
What is that?
I don't know.
Someone's snoring?
Is that a dog?
Adela fell asleep.
I don't think I've heard a dog make that noise.
Yikes.
No, Adela fell asleep. Hold on.
Sounds like a grizzly bear with a CPAP machine.
Sorry, Adela, you awake?
Oh, that poor girl.
Okay, so Adela fell asleep. If she's awake, she can come back, but I'm just going to.
I'm sorry about that comment if you watch it on the playback.
If you watch on the playback, I'm just saying, night.
All right.
I'm just going to say I'm confused.
Now, as far as that, I read that way back in the day, and it's funny if you look at it because in this one, he's technically an assassin, which anybody who knows Frank Castle knows that's not what he is after that.
Oh my god, it's against his it's against his very obscured morals.
You know the Punisher. You know that this is his first fucking appearance, so they didn't know what they were doing with him yet.
Yeah, well, but the funny thing is, Frank Castle is. Hold on,
Greg something.
Frank Castle is the only person, well, one of the only few people who survives the stare from the Ghost Rider because
he doesn't have any
he doesn't have any guilt.
Yeah,
because it only kills you if you have guilt, and you don't have any guilt about it.
And that's another thing that people don't like. Ghost Rider's been like every hero really has been dumbed down and like degraded in a way. Like Ghost Rider, what happened to his penning stare? That was one of his coolest powers. He just has to look at a person. Fire comes out of his eyes into their eyes.
But they brought him back.
As far as we're talking about the Punisher, though, they have turned him into the worst perpetrator of superhero identity theft of all time. Everybody from War Machine to Frankencastle to Cosmic Ghost Rider, that dude has been everybody at this point. He was wearing that weird ass Captain America suit for a while.
I gotta be that guy. Most of those, in my opinion, were bad.
Oh, they were all bad.
I don't think any of them worked.
Okay. On the topic of like characters taking over other characters' identities, I'm not a fan because why? Just why? Yeah, maybe interesting for like, Batman, Superman, do the classic costume switcheroo.
And this is considering with me, Frank is where I came. Frank and Nick Fury, and I'm not talking about Ultimates like MCU Nick Fury.
What in the name of Sam Hill, Nick Fury?
Yeah, those guys are where I came into comics.
Guys, can I make you two hit your heads off the desk collectively?
I'm not doing anything right now. No, why?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, canonically, right now in the comics, Black Nick Fury is the son of White Nick Fury from the 60s.
I know that.
Yeah, well, considering how many people Nick slept with in the 60s, I would almost buy that.
Problem with this in general,
yeah, but it's not that they did it, it's why they did it. They did it because people
they did it because of the movies. And that's the thing. It's like translating a book from English to Japanese to German, then back into English.
And the thing with the movies is, if anybody knows the story about that, the thing in the movies is their own fault.
And that's the problem too, is we're never going to get classic Nick Fury again.
No, we're not, because
that's what's popular now.
As much as I like Samuel L. Jackson,
yeah, David Hasselhoff movie was actually good.
That wasn't terrible, actually.
Oh, but the sad fact is now if they cast the White Nick Fury,
cartoons, comics doesn't matter. We're never getting classic Fury back.
Yeah, but I'm just
going because they killed him.
Yeah, they turned him into the new Watcher.
Yep.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, the fact is nowadays that like people, if they did cast, say for talk's sake, they cast a brilliant actor who looked like Nick Fury, someone who actually could do military stuff because he actually got military experience, people will go, "Oh my god, he cast a white man in a black man's role."
Yeah, it's because they fucked it up. Because nobody that watches I'm sorry, I got to be this guy. Bulk of people who are big fans of the MCU movies don't know dick about the comics.
No, they don't.
Okay,
amen.
My sister turned around to me and she's like, "I am a huge Harley Quinn fan. Look, I don't care if you're a big Harley Quinn fan from the movies. Get therapy."
Fuck.
Right? But I'm just saying.
History. History.
But she turned around to me. Hey, son of a red shirt. She turned around to me and she's like, "Hey, I'm a big fan of Harley Quinn." I'm like, "Which one? Which continuity? Which universe? Which show? What, everything like that?" She's like, "Oh, I'm going to get the one." And she showed me the tattoo that she was getting. And in my head, I'm screaming. I'm like, "That's not her tattoo. That she don't have that tattoo. That's from the movie." No,
it's the same. You know that experience you had. I've had that 10 times over with Spiderman, Transformers, and because they're all like, "Oh, the movie."
Yeah.
Right? Like
fucking tell me about it.
Just like a little off topic, but Transformers was a Marvel Comics property. It actually comics before the cartoon.
Yeah.
But it was created with multiple continuities. You had the Marvel G1 comics, the Marvel UK G1 comics, the toy continuity, which was absolute crap because that was before Marvel Comics got involved, and then you had the cartoon. 4 different continuities upon its creation. And ever since, there's just been more and more continuities added on. And Transformers lends itself to adaptations really well. But
until
Spider-Man,
IDW
it's
got
like,
a
okay, you
hold
got
of it.
the Tobey Maguire movies, right?
Yeah, the
As far
Transformers
as the
kind of
main,
ruined it.
not to group people because I hate doing that.
Can we not talk about that? Because that anything like the trans and things like that, because that's getting channeled new. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Let's talk about the Spider-Man movies now. But,
oh no! He just brought it up. I'm just saying.
He just mentioned it. That's all.
Okay, I was just saying, like you got the Tobey Maguire, right? The Sam Raimi trilogy. Like, yes, there was like the Japanese and American TV shows in the 70s before that, but no one really cares or even knows about those. Like,
actually, Favre here subjected me to the Japanese one when I was sick, and I still need to get you back.
That wasn't me.
Hey, Anime Night.
You did. You played it for us. In Discord.
Japanese what? Hold on. Japanese what?
Spider-Man.
No, I don't even own that, you fucking weirdo.
Oh, that must have been Armchair.
Yeah,
so
probably.
Most people know, obviously, like, there was the Raimi trilogy, then there was the Andrew Garfield movies, the Mark Webb films, and then you had the MCU. And that's what people really know of Spider-Man, and watch the Spider-Verse movie.
Well, yeah, but they do. They get mad because they get mad at us when they change something stupid, and they're like, well, you just want them to tell the same story over and over again.
No, I want them to
that's not what we want. It's like, for instance, take the 1990 to 1991 Flash series with John Wesley Shipp. That is nothing like the comic books.
No.
But they told a good story. They made it good. The Tobey Maguire movies.
Okay, how about the Spawn?
So, guys, we got 5 minutes until we wrap it up.
Oh.
Hard 5 minutes, yeah.
We were just kind of wrapped up.
Yeah, he called final bell.
Final bell, 5 minutes, then we're going to shield. So, and I'm sorry, I'm Farv will tell you, and people will be on my channel. I call it in 5 minutes.
This on my own later if anyone wants an after party.
He can. But the thing, so I'm going to just talk about like Spider-Man for me and things like that. Like, comics in Ireland have a stigma, so there weren't many comic shops. Oh, actually, the only reason why comic shops exist in Ireland, sadly, is because of the MCU. Like, they'd open up, they'd fail, they'd open up, they'd fail. But thanks to the MCU and the acceptance of nerds and the Big Bang Theory, they're open.
Oh, God.
No,
I'm
just saying.
Take the good with the bad.
He's just listing what happened in history.
And then
the natural response to that show.
PSA for anyone listening. Just because you say, like, I'm going to list history and this and this and this happens, does not mean, oh, I liked this. No, he's just listing facts of what happened.
Yeah.
No, Revan knows me personally, and he knows it. That's just my response to that show.
Yeah, we're good friends, me and Farv.
I know, but I'm just saying to other people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyone listening that may not, subtleties. And
my comic book store in town, Farv knows, they're actually a good store.
Yeah.
Like, I've linked him. They have a t-shirt for the Big Bang Theory, right? And the word is a t-shirt. Because the guy refuses to put a price on it.
Nice.
And they're like, oh yeah, is like, and the thing is, which was really funny, his wife is a huge Kaylee Cuoco fan, right? She went and she got the t-shirt signed, and the t-shirt is in the bin.
Oh.
He said it decreased the value of the t-shirt, and I won't get back the $5.99 I spent on it in pennies.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't hate the Big Bang Theory show, but I hate what it represents. I hate what it allowed in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Early Big Bang Theory was okay. Later Big Bang Theory, shit. But go ahead, Bubba.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll defend it with this. The finale made up for about 3 seasons worth of bullshit. The final episode, to me was like the greatest thing they could have done.
Yes. It absolutely was. No,
they missed one thing. There was one thing they could have done that in that last season that if I could see it now, I would let them do. I would advocate for like a post-season movie or something. If a World Science Fair to see Sheldon Cooper against Steve Urkel would have been fucking amazing. CBS owns the rights to both characters. I want to see that shit.
So I've never watched this show.
You never watched The Big Bang Theory? Okay, so The Big Bang Theory is kind of the whole it's basically the TV show version for the people who just watch the MCU.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I'm not bullshitting you.
I believe you. I'm just laughing.
Yeah. So they keep making all these jokes, and it's meant to be funny. Like, they turned around in one episode, and they're like, "Oh yeah, did the Klingons have batlets?" And the audience laughed and everything, and I'm just there like, "We don't talk like this." And I've told Farv, because I've got family members who watch it, so I talked to Farv about it in DMs, and I'm like, "We don't talk like this." I've said this to some family members. I'm like, "We don't talk like this." Like, if we're in DMs, like Farv.
I talk like a motherfucker's been in the military, because that's what I am. I was a nerd secondarily.
Yeah, but Farv will tell you, like, when we're talking about stuff, we talk about real world stuff way more than we do.
Lord, yeah. Me and my friends are at home are constantly talking about politics and world stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Raquel, you're the same, aren't you?
Now I get pretty bad. I get almost like Eric Foreman from that 70s show when I will start, like, my friends, my family, everybody, the moment I start trying to compare real life situations to stuff in TVs and movies, they'll be like, because they know what I'm about to do, and they know that I've got an addiction to it. I always have. I've done it since I was 10 years old. It's just, it happens.
Our friend in the chat, Maxis, give us a people from the void. Hey Tim talk. So me and Maxis, we were talking, like, we were hanging out, we were just laughing and things like that. And I was there, and someone made a passing comment in the TV show that we were watching, some shit about Irish history and things like that. And I went into a spiel about it because I actually worked in the history field for a while. And so it's like, I know my Irish history. I've actually lectured forcefully our friends on it. And please don't hurt me. But yeah, but guys, we need to, looking at the time, it is 3:02 in the morning. So we're going to chill, and then I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah.
Raquel, do you want to say, you haven't said much, do you want to say something and then shield your channel? And
hey, Catman DD Myers. Let's see. Yeah, I do Funhouse Shenanigans every Thursday, and also I do watch parties in between.
She also has a brand new channel.
Yes, I have a brand new channel. It's a gaming channel. If you want me to follow me on there and watch me game, yeah, follow me on there. Let me just get the link.
Yeah. Actually, don't put the link in the chat. Just send a link to me in DMs. So I can put them in afterwards, because actually if you put it in the chat, they tend to disappear and no one will watch.
You should put them in the description, so this way they're just part of the video description.
I do, but the thing is, not everyone sends them to me on time and things like that. So,
okay, so it's not like you can edit the description later. It's not like it's...
No, I do that.
Okay. Yeah, he does that.
I did that. And also for the algorithm, I also put it in the pinned comments. It just helps. So, Bobby, what about you, bud? Anything or anyone you want to show?
No, just, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Thanks for having me on. It's been
always
great. I don't.
He was
actually
one of my first subscribers.
Oh, nice. But yeah, I don't. I don't actually have a channel up and going or anything right now. I'm just kind of around. I bogart other people's streams, and if they let me on, I talk a little bit.
Farv, what about you, buddy? Yeah.
I got the same channel I've had for close to 3 years now. It's called Farvithian Guard. It's kind of a mixed gaming and discussion channel, depending on what kind of mood my brother and I are in. Sometimes we do gaming and discussion. There's a lot of beat 'em ups on there, a lot of retro style shooters, Guild Wars, and some JRPGs and shit. I also have a Rumble channel that I'm slowly working on getting updated, but that's going to take a little bit to finish.
Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is there are currently 7 people in the chat. Okay, now guys, Farv is 5 away from 60. Okay, come on, everyone, let's help. Hey, come on. Let's help Farv get up to 60 during this stream. There's 8 people. We can get him up to 62 during this stream. By the end
I'm
of
on
it.
my phone, so I'm gonna go. I'm on my phone, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop off the panel, and I'll go follow him.
All right.
Later.
Do that.
Yes.
I should
Everybody have a good evening.
See you later, man. Enjoy
your
your night.
Later. Nice to meet you.
Wait, what?
I'm 4 away from 200.
Put that in the chat.
Nice.
Put it in the chat, and we'll get you to 200. So come on, everyone. We'll get Farv to 60. We'll get Mando to 200.
If you guys get me to 200, I guess if anyone wants, we can continue this.
Yeah. Well, that is actually very handy, Raquel. Raquel actually has a link tree because she is what's called professional, and we're not technically.
Professional. I am far from that.
That link, that's all of my links you can follow me on.
Yeah. I was going to make a joke, but I won't. So
professional. I am far from it.
Okay, so hold on. Let's see. Wait, you said you were 4 away from 300, right?
No, 200.
Two.
Oh, 200. Okay, send me the link that you want.
I sent you all the links, and I just put it in the chat.
Yeah, but you send me a lot of links. I don't know which one to click on.
That's the Shadows one.
There we go.
There's only 2 YouTube links there, so.
Well, yes. Farv understands. So I'm not going to get into it, but yeah. But anyway, so there's Mando's channel, Casting in the Shadows.
Yeah, 2.
He needs 40.
And then there's my personal channel where I upload all my Twitch streams, which is Mando.
Yeah. So everyone, please go. Everyone, just go subscribe to. Make sure you subscribe to Farv and Mando's channel. Let's see what Farv's up to. Okay.
And on my channel, I pretty much do a lot of the same stuff that Farv was mentioning: gaming discussions, both gaming and gaming discussions.
Okay.
I have a weekly, every Monday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have a podcast titled "Cast and Shadows" where we talk about gaming. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
3 more for Farv.
Oh, nice.
And 3 more for both of these. Come on, guys. There's has to be 3
how many
people.
Is my personal channel? Because that was the
306
YouTube on.
306.
Nope, 307 now. Nice.
Boom.
Cool anime night. Also, awesome
name. Farv is on 57. So I'm just going to wrap this up here.
Yeah, all right.
Before you do, I do want to say, Potato Riven, you've got an awesome chat.
Oh, thank you. They're awesome people because unlike most people, I don't pander to anyone, and they're all genuinely good people. All except Maxis. She's got too much glitter, and I'm scared of her.
Ouch.
Maxis, if you're not good, I'll post your link.
Wow.
But guys, thank you everyone for coming. Thanks to the panel for showing up. Idalia, hope you have a nice sleep.
Later.
And later. So I'm just going to say good night, God bless, happy St. Patrick's Day. Hope you all get drunk. Blah blah blah. Usual shit. Also for our friend Philip Kilroy, who's not here. Basically after the stream, go and subscribe to everyone in the chats below. Blah blah blah. YouTuber talk. Subscribe me.